Hello and welcome everybody. This is the day when the BBG beta went into the live version, and now we do have all of the final changes going forward in the 5.4.0 BBG version. We do have in the global changes, the game mechanics and the general changes. Let's see, looks like canals were fine actually to move to butters from steam power quite a bit earlier. We do have in the luxuries an extra point of production for the pearls. So they're gonna get +1 and +1 production, +1 food from now. The T tiles will receive an extra food point, and they still will retain, of course, their +1 science. In the spies, now this is the mechanic that a lot of the multiplayers did frown upon, because unfortunately when your spy is captured, you cannot actually build another one or train another one, because well, the slot gets locked. So what they did is when a spy is captured, you gain a +1 spy capacity, and like you see over here in the addendum, this is to offset the big advantage of having your spy captured instead of killed in 4v4s. In the religion screen, we do have condemning units no longer reduces the religious spread. Okay, passive spread distance will be increased to 12. They did try to actually increase the strength of the spread, but unfortunately that did not work out well. From what I understand, they tried to put it to +3. Unfortunately, unless it was +4, it didn't work. They did try multiple coding procedures, but none of them did work. So it looks like we're ending up with just the passive spread distance to be a little bit longer. I don't think this will affect the game that much, and of course we're going to need to see if the players will feel it's good or not, and we're going to get some feedback. In the culture victory screen, we've talked about it in the BBG patch notes from the beta version, that there will be a big buff when it comes to the tourism that you acquire from certain great works, a lot of them actually, and not only that, but also the buildings and the rock bands will get changed. We do have in the great works of writing +4 tourism from +2, so double. Great works of art, an adding of +2 tourism to a +6 from +4. We do have in the artifacts +8 tourism from +6. In the seaside resorts, the tourism and gold equal to 200% of the appeal from 100. It will get doubled over there, so it does make much more sense now to actually build those seaside resorts, and of course they can be built on charming tiles as well, not only on breathtaking like it was in the previous version. In the shopping malls, we do have the +20 tourism from +6 and +10 gold, +10 additional gold when powered from +2. That actually makes these shopping malls extremely valuable, especially for nations like Congo. We do have arenas +3 tourism from +1, and no longer requires conservation. I think actually the arena was a little bit too underpowered when it came to the tourism, so this definitely makes sense. Stadiums will get +6 tourism and +15 from a +2 and +5, tripling in their bonuses. We do have Ferris wheel +6 tourism from a +2, again triple. We do have aquatic centers +6 tourism for each one that are built in this city or adjacent to coast from +2. Okay, tripling. So many points of tourism you can actually get from so many things right now. There are already quite a few talks about the wisdom of this, and the players are still saying that it's fine. We do have on the other side some players that is saying they're saying that it is a bit too much on the passive culture victories. So we're going to need to actually see them in action. We do have quite a few games actually from the Civilization World Cup season 8 that are still going to need to be played. The vote was done yesterday, and it looks like the players voted in a majority to actually go for the live version. So we're going to see these changes in the games in real environments. We do have rock bands also. I do have to make a point over here in the previous patch note video that I did. The rock band, the text was actually reduced 80% by 80%, which of course did nullify the rock bands entirely, but that was actually a typo in the text. We do have them only reduced by 20% to 80% of the previous value. So this is quite important. They just took a little bit of the shine off, but it's still there. It's still a viable option late game. Also, we do have an addendum over here about the culture victory, which on some sense I do agree with. The culture victories have been easier and easier to defend and also often require having a high phase civ. These changes are to make passive tourism generation easier, to force the opponents to defend culture and allow non-phase civs a better chance of culture victory. It also reduces the high roll on rock bands. Rock bands may be tweaked more in future patches as we see how this plays out. I do have to make a bit of an extra point over here. It did become, with other changes, with other buffs being done, on the domination, especially victory condition, with available resources for the players like oil and aluminium, much more easier to acquire, with the airports for the aluminium and of course the military academies for the oil. That allowed the players to actually get faster units out against their opponents, and it was quite common to actually see them roll over the civilizations that were doing the culture victory way before they could actually punch through a culture victory. So to actually get a culture victory, you kind of needed a safe space somewhere behind your allies. Your allies would have needed to focus a lot on your defense and so on and so forth to actually get that victory condition. Now I'm not sure if in the overall gameplay this is actually going to be synchronized with all of the other victory conditions in the game, like science victory, the domination, the diplomatic victory, and so on. And we're gonna need to see, of course, how the players will make use of this tourism, and if they will make use of the tourism, because I gotta say, a lot of the players just like to stomp their opponents rather than actually go for a culture victory. So let's see, of course, how the meta will adapt, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see quite a few variations of strategies in the next few weeks. We do have in the government screen, digital democracy, removing -3 combat strength penalty. It will get an additional +2 tourism per specialty district. Corporate libertarianism, remove the -10 science penalty, additional adding of 5 uranium, aluminium and oil per turn. These are very late game governments. Very few players actually get to them, but when you do get to them, as you can see, they will have quite a few bonuses. Synthetic technocracy, they will remove the -10 tourism penalty and add an additional 50% production towards spaceports, industrial zones, campuses and harbors, and also buildings inside those districts. Of course, this does mean it will make the science victory in this type of government a little bit easier, with a much faster spaceports production. We do have also, let's see, this is the first pass of strengthening tier 4 government, so they may be looked at again after these changes. Okay, I'm actually very curious how many actually players will get into this, because again, very late game. A lot of the games do finish way before this. In the units, we do have 2 units that got changed. Pikeman, it will get a change of production from 180 to 200, so a little bit costlier to actually get these anti-cav units, and the package shots will also have penalty over here from 250 to 290. That's actually quite a change over here, but I gotta say, especially with statue of Zeus, you could spam these out endlessly, and this actually made quite a bit of a problem for any kind of attacker. Civilization and leader changes. Let's see what they did. Egypt, Cleopatra, Ptolemy, a well-known leader for actually an extreme tempo at the beginning of the game. They will get a delay on culture on tiles until Code of Laws, so basically like the first 8 turns of the game, and of course after that it will start to acquire it. We're going to need to see if that's enough of a delay, so Cleopatra Ptolemy will not be as powerful as it was before. I still think it will be, but maybe that's just me. England, France, Eleanor, looks like they adjusted the yields to +1 on the great works of writing and relics, +2 on the great works of art and artifacts, and +4 on great works of music. So it does scale the longer you play the game, and you do acquire more valuable great works. The bonus that you would receive from having other districts in your city that has these great works of writing, relics, arts, artifacts, music will get beefed up a little bit. It was +1 across the board, actually from a +2 across the board that was before, and now as you can see, they did change a little bit the dynamic of those bonuses that you get. England, Victoria, Age of Steam, it will have have its plus 10 production removed from workshops, and it will have a total of plus 20 with factory and power plant. Okay, so delaying the Age of Steam power spike. Okay. Plus 1 production on improved strategic resources from unimproved or improved. Okay, so it's only improved. Now, I don't know why he said over there or improved, but anyway, it's only improved strategic resources that will get the extra production bonus, since of course before you just needed to discover them and poof, you actually had an extra production on that tile with a strategic resource. France Catherine Magnificence, a very rare civilization, I would say. It's extremely rarely picked. In even the normal games, is very rarely picked. All improved resources receive plus 1 culture after craftsmanship. Resources adjacent to chateaus will receive plus 1 culture. Resources adjacent to theater squares will also receive plus 1 culture. So you can actually keep adding those culture bonuses when you're talking about resources. Now, is this something that will actually bring it back to the game? Me, I still wouldn't pick this. But anyway, I guess there are some players that really like that culture, and maybe that's going to be something they will enjoy. Georgia, Tsikes gain plus 1 culture. Tsikes will lose 1 faith in Golden Age, and it will have 7 faith total in a Golden Age from a plus 8 faith. Okay, this does take a little bit off the Tsikes shine, but I gotta say it's actually quite fine. You remember that Tsike already gives you a plus 4 faith base. And a little bit of tourism from the beginning. When you're talking about building them very early on, it's one of the strategies that Georgia does get. At the beginning, you do try to rush those tickets, get them out, and try to have a monumentality, or use the faith generated with Jesuit education to actually buy out some libraries or some buildings in your districts, which is pretty good, not bad. I've seen it being played out. Of course, I would like to see some more to actually see how in the top level gameplay will be performing. I wouldn't say abuse, but it's there. Japan Tokugawa plus 1 gold per district in the domestic destination from plus 2 flat gold. Okay, I mean that does make sense. On one side, Tokugawa's gold will actually increase with the amount of districts that he's gonna build, and we're gonna need to see, of course, how much gold he's gonna make. I think actually this is a bit too much, especially thinking about I don't know, 7 pop cities are already 3 districts, 10 pop cities are gonna be 4, so that means you're gonna get 4 flat gold plus all of the other cards that you might use over there, and so on and so forth. It can actually add up to a lot of gold, making Tokugawa, of course, not rely on any kind of extra or externals and so on. This usually is frowned upon when it comes to the multiplayer scene in the 4v4s, because it's hard to actually get alliances for some science, for some culture, for even for some gold between the players, and most of the time Tokugawa is being used in the free-for-alls, where well, you're kind of free to do anything you want. If you actually allied with Tokugawa, and Tokugawa is not going to send units to you, send these traders to you, well, tough luck. You know, it happens. Congo, extra yields from relics removed. Oh, this is kind of bad. I gotta say, this is kind of bad. This is a big nerf on Congo. It already was kind of a hit or miss strategy with Congo to actually acquire those relics. You had to be very lucky to actually get 1, 2, or maybe 3 relics. But yes, if you did manage to get them, it was amazing. We do have artifacts and sculpture yields remain as is. So this is the top level of the civilization. Congo is a civilization. Now we're going into the leaders. Let's see. Mubande will have its removing of continent split penalty or bonuses yields. Okay, so no more plus 10 from the beginning. Archaeologists are gonna be 50% cheaper to produce and purchase. Plus 10 culture and gold in cities with a Mbanza does not stack. Okay, Mbanza provides a plus 2 adjacency to commercial hubs and theater squares. To be honest, I don't think we're gonna see Mubande that much in the game anymore. Like this just totally takes out Mubande, I think, from the player preferences. It went from, I'm pretty sure it will go from very picked to a little bit picked until they're gonna figure out that it's kind of bad, and then it won't be picked anymore. Movember add extra yields from relics as part of Movember's leader ability, so it will get actually the Congo top level ability on just on Movember, removing the prior attempt to fix Movember's religious belief ability, as it was not properly working. So it looks like yeah, we're not gonna see all of those beliefs actually gathered into his religion, into his cities, which, to be honest, not a lot of players were using it anyway, so I don't think that's a big boo-boo over here. Norway, 50% production towards holy sites and receive a standard adjacency bonus from coastal tiles. Again, top level Norwegian bonus. Harbors receive a major adjacency bonus from holy sites. That ability was moved from Harald Konge to Norway as the nation, as the civilization. Harald Varingen will also get quite a bit of a buff here, as we have seen before, 25% production to holy site buildings, in addition to what he had, 50% production towards holy sites. Stave churches will generate +1 influence. This actually will help him gather more influence towards those city-states, and of course do acquire more envoys with this, especially if he does have a lot of stave churches. +1 movement on levied units, +10 science, +10 culture per population when converting a city to a religion for the first time using a religious unit. I'm not that convinced this is gonna matter that much, the +10 science and +10 culture, but it's still something that I guess you know, it's there. It's some fluff. We do have Nubia, ranged units bonus extended to naval ranged units, quads, frigates, battleships, and missile cruisers. Oh, wait. Ranged unit bonus, wasn't it to acquire the, oh my god, to acquire the experience much faster? If I remember correctly, that's what it was. So, oh my god, Nubia becoming a naval power little by little. Well, I guess we're going to need to see if the players will prefer it over nations that are well known for very, very good abilities when it comes to the coast, and of course have coast harbors and animal requirement and so on, which are extremely important. Persia reverting back to 0 combat strength from +3 combat strength, so they will they won't get any more that bonus of extra attack. Nader Shah did get +5 combat strength when attacking defensible districts and full health units. I believe this was down from, or I should say nerfed from +10 if I remember correctly. Portugal, 50% gold on international trade routes, delayed until cartography from start of the game. 50% science at education and 50% culture at medieval fairs on international trade routes. Ooh, okay, interesting. I mean, a lot of the times Portugal is being picked, especially for that initial gold. Yes, at cartography it does have a very powerful unit now, but a lot of the times everything else it does carry Portugal to there, and especially that gold generation. And we already see Portugal actually not being picked that much because of its unfortunate random ability of not getting, or I should say penalty of not getting somebody to trade with. And if you don't get the gold anymore, I mean, you're probably going to be forced to run internals. We'll see. I still don't see Portugal being picked over a nation like England, like Australia, for example, or Indonesia, and so on. Phoenicia. There's so many others. Rome, Julius Caesar. Now all his units will get 100% experience. This is massive, by the way, for him to actually get this amount of experience level. You can actually see +4 crossbows. Sorry, I should say 4 level crossbows, which are insanely strong with the double attack. So we're going to see if players will actually enjoy Julius Caesar a little bit more than before, and how they're gonna try to do the warfare with him. We still have, of course, for Rome, the baths and the monuments and so on. Scythia, Kurgans gain +2 faith base from +1. The Kurgans also do get the extra adjacency from pastures around them in production and faith. I think this will become actually pretty good faith generating tiles. Remember, Scythia does have the ability to buy those cav units with faith, and it will help it out quite a bit to actually get more units. Okay. I mean, I like the Kurgans, don't get me wrong. Then when they did buff them, they were amazing. Even before they buffed them, they were quite good. Now it feels like Scythia will get a little bit more. Okay. Sure, I'm on the fence on this because Scythia already is a pretty powerful nation when it comes to attacking his opponent next door. It does tend to irrel opponents quite easily with the Saka horse archers and with its Cav ability, with the extra +5 that it gets against opponents. And I do have to point out on the seas, it has that ability, it retains the ability to actually heal whenever it takes out a unit, especially if you do have a lot of numbers. You can overwhelm an opponent even if I would say, yeah, it's a well-known naval civilization. So I'm on the fence because I don't really think it needed the buff. Spain no longer receives the split bonus yields on internal traders, and it will have a reversion of the +5 combat strength versus civilization following the other religions from a +3. So basically it will gain again the +5 combat strength, because they did tone it down to +3, and probably that didn't work at all. I do have to say the split bonus yields on internal traders, as in the double yields that you would get from internal traders from the split of the continent, was quite an important part for Spain, but I've seen actually players a lot of the times play without it, so I guess it will still be picked. It will still be craved for, but it won't become a very top level civilization like it was till now. In the bug fixes, let's see. Fix tourism at flight on improved tiles with culture, farms, camps, lumber mills, quarries, fishing boats. So not only we're gonna get a little bit of a buff before in the culture victory, these fixes might actually come out and add more passive tourism to your empire, which well, I guess it stacks up, it adds up. If you are familiar with the culture victories, every little bonus that you can get in the passive tourism is a well added addition to your tourism per turn. Religious spread in the beta was accidentally set to 12 tiles. It will be reverted back to 10 tiles. This only affected the beta, and now as you've seen, they went back to 12. Fixed Cleopatra's yields, not working when the tile was pillaged. Okay, remove the prior attempt to fix for Movemba's religion. We've seen this earlier and we talked about it. They do have quite a few not implemented changes. They did try to actually do some changes on Coupe, and it looks like Exodus of Evangelists, even if they did try a few ideas, it didn't work out. It does look like they did have a problem coding them in. It's a bit unfortunate, but I guess we're gonna need to wait and see. And I gotta say that was massive, was a bonus when I saw the text when initially it went to coding and we did have the description of what is going on. I was like, oh no, this might actually become more powerful than a pen brush and voice. It was a bit too much, and I can't say I am not happy with the delay of this bonus. I'm pretty sure they need to think a little bit about it more, and maybe we're gonna have a better idea showing up in the next few months before we're gonna get an additional version. So these were the changes for 5.4.0. I'm gonna link the patch notes in the description of the video. I hope you're gonna have a good time playing Civilization 6 with us in the multiplayer community, and of course I do hope we're gonna see each other live on twitch.tv/OnSpotTV. Have a good time, and bye.